What's in the hole? There is a chimera in the hole. Can you not tell? In Clash 2, we have a chimera, which is the mythical beast that has two heads, lion and goat's head with snake's tail. But I think you always have to push yourself to make things more real, whether it's watching lion footage and seeing how a lion moves and making sure the chimera moves like a lion. What I like the most is taking something that's fantastical and then looking in the world for real touchstones to apply to that. And I think that, to me, is the most enjoyable part of the process.
You're taking reference from all different creatures. You know, we're referencing lions, tigers, big cats, and also bats as well. I mean, the creature's got bat wings.
What was asked for was something that didn't feel too clean and not too majestic straight away. I want it to be dirty, a bit grungy, feel more evil rather than looking like it just, you know, come out of the CG monster factory.
It was a very dusty location, so we always had loads of dust being kicked up and all of those things that sort of help tie the digital creature into the real environment.
Nick, was quite keen on doing as much of the destruction as possible as breakaways and explosions and stuff. A lot of the time it's better to do that practically because you get interaction with the actors as well. If you blow a building up, you get pieces of lightweight material that comes over and hits them, and it's very difficult to do that convincingly CG. It really is a good combination.
Well, it is nice to get as many practical effects and interaction on the set as you possibly can do. We had buildings and walls that would collapse and explode, and we did want as many of those as we could do. So it was a nice mix between, using practical effects and visual effects, and we planned all of those out with Neil and his team of guys.
Our biggest single effect in the village is basically the chimera burrowing under the ground and exploding out of the ground, and that's really the first time we see the chimera. And for this, we're using a methodology which is called a trench blast. It's basically a series of explosions every foot for about 120 feet. It basically causes this wave, like a burrowing effect under the ground.
So this is a test that we did to show Jonathan. We'll probably be working day and night to rig this up in Tenerife.
There's 360 of these in a line, dotted down there. So we've got electronic debts on these.
Under no circumstances should anyone run in the trench on this shot.
We certainly hope it's a one-time, because I think it's a two-day reset to relay all the explosives in the trench and then relay all the sand back over the top again.
So what we're going to have you do is run through the streets, a couple of you crossing, a couple of you running from it and stuff like that. I want to make sure that you're all really comfortable with what you do, because this is such a big, wide shot and we've got one take only, so we don't want to f*** it up.
Neil, come in, Neil. Okay. Hot. Neil's hot. Neil's hot.
Neil's coming. Here we go.
Special effects, well done. Stunts, well done.
Yeah,
good job.
Good, everyone, really great.
The nicest surprise when we read the first draft of Clash of the Titans 2 was the character of Agenor. There was a sense of lightness and humor about that character that didn't exist in the first movie.
Have you ever had a woman love you so much, she locks you up like a pet rabbit?
Toby's a perfect actor to work with.
I think it's my extraordinary eyes.
He can improvise well, he believes it's all about the story and not himself. He's generous, and he throws himself into it.
Your role as a supporting actor in any position is to reflect light onto your lead and to bring levity when he's down, So actually, most of the time I'm cracking jokes with Sam.
The problem is Toby and Sam are good friends, so I keep having to remind them that they have to hate each other.
Mutton head. I told you not to slap me. I know, I'm sorry. Just don't do it again. I'll wait. I'm sorry.
I think you'd make quite a good trio, because Toby is very good at taking the piss out of everyone, especially me. He's like a stand-up comedian, Toby, when he's off set.
For the McDonald's action figure, I'll have loads of them left. It'll just be one
Perseus and millions of Agenor. Can we get the tramp one, please, Mum? He's going to ask for the homeless one. Can we get the homeless one, Mum, with my big one?
He does sometimes slip into the odd kind of reggae chant, you know, because I think the dreads sort of get the better of him sometimes.
I say this hair's rather comfortable.
When Toby first saw the man truck, I think he was a bit apprehensive with it. You know, sort of said, "Do you want me to get in that? Are you sure?"
We'll hit the wire off your back foot. So stroll in, I'll walk you through it. Go in at the speed you think you're going to go. Wire, you ignore it. Now, I want you to go in there for a whack it.
Fucking bollocks.
So it took a bit of reassurance with us to say, no, it's perfectly safe. You just step here, and when you step there, it's going to go up.
He was an average actor, but it was an amazing way to die. A piece of plastic wood through his neck. Brilliant. Give that to my mum, wouldn't you? That smile.
Yeah, Jim. Any last requests?
It's one of those moments where when the crew stand around and look nervous, it's like, you know when you're on a flight and there's turbulence? You know not to worry if they're still serving. You know, they're still walking up and down the aisle, but when they sit down, and these lot look worried.
Here we go, team. 3, 2, 1. Oh, Zeus! Told you to stand still.
And after the first couple of times, he was great, you know, he went with it.
Oh, wait, I could climb out of this huge hole. Yeah, they were laughing at me. Being laughed at's more scary, isn't it, really? Do you know what seems great? Loads of women. Truth be told, you know, they're actually just doing that. Can I just pat your head? It's great.
When we were in the woods shooting the Cyclops, we didn't know what we were contending with. And, you know, it's that one of those sort of classic things where you know there's something scary in the woods, and you don't know what's going to come out. And suddenly, you know, you're looking, and suddenly, whoa, you're having to look right up there because the thing is 30 foot high. So, you know, in order for us all to have an eye line, we had to have some dude running along with a huge pole and a tennis ball on it, you know, literally through the woods with this sort of, you know, extended pole.
That's the Cyclops eye line. That's his head height, 30 foot.
Actually, just like a 5-year-old kid, you've got to believe in the world. Hey! As long as, you know, I believe that the monster's out to get me, then it doesn't matter. We know it's CG, Cyclopses don't exist, but if I dive into the situation 100%, then an audience will follow me, hopefully.
3, 2, 1, heck!
It's difficult for the actors, there's no doubt about it. Having to imagine what is going on, we can show them previs, we can have a tennis ball on a stick that's at the right height, but if there's nothing there, it's very, very hard. So there was a couple of mechanisms that we used on set to provide interaction with Sam.
I still think a tiny bit faster.
Go on then. Have you got any more speed there, Rob?
You got a bit more.
Go on then. 3, 2, 1, go!
Now look good.
Let's get stupider and stupid. All right, so here we go, boys. Ready?
Really hates you, Dan.
Come on, Hen. Come on, Hen.
Victor 51 Apple Jackson, yeah. 1, camera mark.
Action! Good acting, Sam. You made that look hard, Sam.
We're dealing with a character who will be fully CG, but we're really reliant on the performances from our principal actors to really sell this stuff before we get in there.
We did a lot of motion capture for our Cyclops. It was the absolutely accurate movement and scale that we wanted.
What you get from motion capture is a recognizable performance, not only physically, but emotionally as well, just from the body language. We've got a human performance, essentially. What we did differently on this film was we had to retrofit the motion capture into the plate. So on our motion capture stage, we had scanned the set. We knew precisely where all the trees needed to be in relation to the camera for every shot.
We actually see some kind of sticks there. They're supposed to be trees. So we actually built the platform there exactly like the live action environment.
And then Martin Bayfield was instructed to run through this digital set and do the performances in time to the camera that had been shot a month earlier.
As far as creatures go, the Cyclopses are my favorite. I love very kinetic, suspenseful action, and I think having massive creatures within that is spectacular.
Father Hades, we've come to your domain. As agreed, show yourself to us.
Our main concept for the underworld was almost to have a world within a world. And so in the underworld, you can see the underside of Earth. You can see underneath the oceans, you can see what the bottom of mountains look like. The world is almost like an atom, and there's this little nucleus, and that's Tartarus, and the rest of the space around the nucleus is the underworld.
The way the production designers created that underworld, it's really amazing. I mean, just the stage in London where the underworld was built, without the visual effects, I'm talking just the physical set, it's unbelievable.
The sense of scale is immense, so imagine you're going into vast caverns down in the center of the earth with sort of gantries of granite stretching across chasm-like spaces. So we're tiny figures walking along enormous Everest-like rock faces down in the center of the earth.
The entire of Tartarus is a massive set extension where Kronos is entombed in stone at one end, and then Zeus is chained up, and then his sort of life force is sucked out of him, and that life force is representative as this sort of like lava-type substance that is basically sucked out of Zeus and given to Kronos.
You fool!
Liam had a bloody hard job, actually. Liam had to do a scene where he was being dragged in chains. We had him attached to a wire, which basically meant that Ares could drag him along. He then gets attached to these chains, which was so heavy, and they were so long, we had to attach them to him. He has a harness on. I didn't envy him that at all.
Why don't you weep? If I have to weep, it will be for you, Ares.
I'm in chains for quite a bit, locked to this rock formation. And you're obviously deprived of physical movement, so you have to rely a lot on the cameraman hopefully coming in for your close-up. But they all looked after me. You know, when there was a break, I was released. So I was taken care of.
The Zeus prosthetics actually got quite complicated and became more a piece of set, really.
As you can have a look here, he's been imprisoned by rock, which in turn turns to molten volcanic lava. What we have here is the second stage, which is an early part of the volcanic activity. So at the moment, we're putting the lights on behind the fiberglass. This whole process so far has taken round about 8 weeks, which we start off with a body cast of Liam Neeson, which it's removed at the moment. At the moment, you can just work out his legs, which are here. And then they've turned into lava, and his body will be standing up here, which is this area.
And then, of course, behind where Zeus is chained up, we've got Kronos appearing, being unlocked from the rock. Now that was just a sort of 200-foot by 150-foot green screen. You know, this guy is huge, and we were having to react to him, not really knowing what he might look like. So, you know, you pick the kind of scariest dude you've ever thought of and magnify him by, 250 times and kind of give a look of awe.
We wanted one practical monster in this movie, and we felt like the Minotaur was the perfect candidate.
We created the prosthetics and prosthetic effects for the Minotaur. His clothes are rotted, he's filthy and dirty and disgusting. It's kind of a human nightmare, really.
The creatures are fantastical, and how do we ground them? In other words, take things back to their base level, not necessarily to what people and artists have interpreted them to be. In other words, the Minotaur, maybe it wasn't a man with a bull's head, but a man who was deformed and resembled a bull. I think the important thing is just to have, in a way, pity for this thing. Like, he's a real person who just got stuck forever.
We kind of stayed closer to human, but make him look more animalistic. And the body is more just a deformed body where the bones are not, shaped correctly.
The Minotaur is fully covered. I don't think there's one part of his skin, apart from his tongue maybe, that is all that's left of him that you see. He has feet, legs, body, head, horns, hands.
Pretty gnarly.
Teeth and contact lenses, so that he's completely covered.
Ah, this is the life, eh?
This Minotaur suit is sculpted on top of a life cast of Spencer Wilding, who's a fantastic creature suit performer. He's about 2 meters tall and very dynamic.
Spencer Wilding is a stunt actor. He did Wolfman. He's been doing this kind of thing for a long time, and he is very good at it.
Hours. It felt like 5 minutes, really. It's rock and roll, eh?
As soon as he puts the suit on, it makes a huge difference. He really brings it to life and does a fantastic performance. The more experience you have wearing prosthetics and understanding how they limit your performance as an actor, you can overcome their limitations and get a better performance out of them.
When I go into Minotaur mode, it's like, it's a Minotaur, isn't it? It's like you don't see one every day. Get exhausted.
It's interesting. Seeing the Minotaur sequence is terrifying.
Who are you?
If there's a little bit of a horror movie element in this movie, that is the Labyrinth and that is the Minotaur.
Ah, it's bad. Don't feel so horny now.
Our job is to hold Kronos back for as long as possible.
Baker 74, Baker take 2, 8 camera mark.
The final battle scene, I think, will be the biggest sequence I've ever directed.
Jonathan, we're standing by.
Yeah, you keep going and you'll see there's all these trenches. Go to the front trench. What we're hoping for is something that's very raw, but very huge scope-wise.
Baker 74, Charlie, take 1, 8 camera mark.
And I think we have all the ingredients. You have a massive titan, you have Mackay creatures, and you have soldiers who know that they're probably going to die as they defend humanity during its last stand.
Oh, so we're imminently going to be killed.
Just show me a sort of bit of a staggered sort of defence thing that you could do here.
We're in the Trefil Quarry, which is an old limestone quarry, which is on the edge of the Brecon Beacons National Park in the middle of Wales. It's a huge, empty quarry. It's a long way from civilization, so we're able to do all the things which we need to do to create this fantastic battle sequence.
It was a fantastic set, brilliantly designed. It was a sort of tented encampment with wooden stakes pointing out towards defensive fortifications. Wonderful detail in the design of shields and spears and textures. And then the cliffs of the quarry either side, so they looked dramatic against the skies or precipitous cliff faces.
We've got up to about 700 people on site today, including cast, crew and extras.
Regroup the other side of the car.
We've tried to colour code the factions slightly to distinguish them from each other. So we've got blue for the Trojans, we've got red and orange for the Argos, and then we have white for the Athenians. We have about 500 spears, about 400 shields, about 100 archers, about 500 or 600 rubber weapons of various types for the different armies.
Walk around, grab your shield. They're rubber swords, and they've got a metal insert in the middle to keep them stiff.
This is where we dress all the extras for the Argos, Spartan, Trojan and Athenian armies. So the guys come in here, they go to their section. This is the Argos section, this is their armour, one with a tunic underneath. They then get their helmets then past me to give a final check.
Here we go.
D-marker.
Action!
It's around 50 stuntmen, plus we've got horsemen as well.
Well, we've actually worked very hard with the locals and the extras. We've had boot camps to teach them how to fire bow and arrows, how to form up into battalions and how to move, and they've done really well, so that's really helped us like boost the look of the film.
And then we also have Dante's burning diesel to give us sort of clouds of black smoke, and we have the Beslers pumping out white smoke to sort of mix in with that, and it just gives it a very big atmospheric look. So it helps just sort of give the whole sort of atmospherics of the battle a much more sort of gritty, realistic feel.
That one there, Steve.
Oh, the special effects have been absolutely, they've been smiling all week because they've been dying to do these massive explosions. Neil Corbold and his team are amazing.
We've got quite a few big lava explosions where these flaming balls of lava come into the battlefield and explode. We've rigged 60 big explosions with dynamite and petrol and dust and peat and stuff like that. And it's supposed to be Kronos throwing these lava balls at the armies.
We're going, here we go.
They're ridiculoly big. You actually feel the ground shake when they go off. They're incredible.
Stand by! 3, 2, 1!
Fire the artillery!
Cut! Nice. Reset.